The All Together Human Project is a peer-to-peer training program that moves college students to action by empowering them to combat hate-based violence and hate speech against the LGBTQ+ community. The program takes campus resident assistants, also called RAs, and student leaders through a 3-part training series designed to help college students experience the 3 C's of being human: show compassion, seek connection, and celebrate our differences. With the All Together Human Project, RAs are trained to deliver short, 20-minute interactive sessions to residents through community programming. For me, the All Together Human Project proves that kindness has real power. What I know for sure is that by being human, we can make a positive impact on other people's lives. Compassion, connection, and celebration are core concepts, and they're crucial in helping make our society and world a better place. The All Together Human Project brings everyone into the conversation, and best of all, emphasizes that we're all together human.
The research around LGBTQ+ and hate speech or hate violence was simply stunning. It really reinforced for us how important this project really is. The All Together Human Project is about a sense of belonging, a feeling of camaraderie. We all seek meaning and significance, and this project helps college students find their way back to being altogether human.
When I think about this project, it's about creating a revolution around compassion, celebration, and connection. If we redirect one person's thoughts or actions of hate, we've succeeded.
The program is turnkey, providing everything that RA needs to implement an impactful 3-part program for residents, delivered face-to-face or virtually. The 3 sessions are interactive, engaging, and honest. The program provides a solution for RAs who are required to facilitate community engagement programs with residents while addressing a real need to educate college students about hate-based violence and hate speech directed toward members of the LGBTQ+ community. The target audience was the inactive population of Ohio Dominican University's student community who oppose hate-based violence and hate speech against members of the LGBTQ+ community, but are not proactive in their efforts in raising awareness regarding this topic. This audience served as a test pilot for the All Together Human Project. Our goals for this educational program are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. As you can see, we projected that at least 50% of students would agree that their awareness of hate speech and hate-based violence directed toward members of the LGBTQ+ community would increase after experiencing the program. We also projected that at least 50% of students would feel an increased confidence in their ability to act against hate speech or hate-based violence. And then lastly, 75% of students would recommend this program to other students after experiencing the program. When it comes to our secondary research, our research supported the importance of tackling hate-based violence and hate speech against the LGBTQ+ community. Hate crime incidents against LGBTQ+ members are increasing. During the same time, the number of Americans aged 18 to 34 who are comfortable interacting with members of the LGBTQ+ community dropped from 63% in 2016 to 53% in 2017 and to 45% in 2018. And then lastly, social media also plays a role when it comes to the lack of knowledge that students have regarding hate speech and hate-based violence directed toward members of the LGBTQ+ community. Research shows that students spend 6 to 9 hours on social media per day, yet have limited knowledge of the resources and initiatives they can be involved in to support the LGBTQ+ community. For our primary research, we distributed a 10-question survey to college students at ODU and surrounding college campuses and received 65 responses. The survey gave us more insight into the knowledge and perspectives that our target population had surrounding this topic. For example, as you can see, a few key statistics that were showcased in our data was that 60% of respondents stated that they see or hear hate speech or related sentiments 1 to 4 times weekly. 92.31% of respondents stated that they believe they have a role in preventing hate-based violence, and then 96.88% of respondents stated that they see or hear hate speech or messages against it on social media. When asked how students can impact hate-based violence and hate speech against members of the LGBTQ+ community, a couple of the suggestions that students gave included going out and learning what is considered hate speech, such as microaggressions, and learning how to combat them, and educate ourselves and urge others to do the same and keep fighting for change both on a small and large scale. Our strategy was to develop a product that enables RAs to host community programs with residents. Tactically, RAs are supplied with a turnkey program that they can use to educate students and facilitate conversations around sensitive topics. Embedded in our strategies and tactics are a few simple truths. Students look to RAs for support and guidance. RAs are on the front lines of helping college students recognize their humanity and the role they play in creating an accepting community. This program is meant for everyone. It's meant to help everyone in our community feel compassion, connection, and celebration for who they are. The program is intended to stress the importance of what it means to be human and realizing that regardless if we have differing opinions, goals, and dreams, together, we are still altogether human. And then lastly, by creating this safe space to have difficult conversations, we draw people in rather than push people away. The first part of the Altogether Human project is compassion. We know that compassion is comprised of empathy plus action, and that radical compassion goes a step further and takes us out of our comfort zone, like Tony McAleer discusses within his book, The Cure for Hate. The Take a Walk in My Shoes activity serves as a catalyst to help students understand the importance of showing compassion to one another and walking in the shoes of someone who has experienced hate speech and hate-based violence. The scenes depicted are real life and illustrate what it might be like to experience hate speech or hate-based violence just because of who you love. Next, we tackle human connection, or that all-important feeling that you belong to a group and generally feel close to other people. Scientific evidence strongly suggests that this is a core psychological need essential to feeling satisfied with your life. Many members of the LGBTQ+ community feel alienated from friends or family and are at risk for depression and suicide. Within the connection activity, students are introduced to the invisible barriers that may impact the way we view our peers and perhaps cast a shadow on the connection that we do have with one another. It allows for an immersive way to think about what promotes or prohibits connection with one another, especially those who identify as LGBTQ+. And lastly, students are able to celebrate by letting go of their biases and celebrating differences. Focusing on what we do have and celebrating who we are right now keeps us focused on appreciating the good in all of us. This exercise allows students to critically think about society's perceptions surrounding the LGBTQ+ community and hate speech and hate-based violence. It also serves as a symbol of unity and freedom by letting go of their past viewpoints and/or worries, and for celebrating what is ahead as a collective unit. The Altogether Human Project program was test piloted among 14 students at Ohio Dominican University. The students were juniors and seniors, and the majority lived in on-campus residence halls. The pre- and post surveys were administered to the test group, and these survey templates are housed on the website and available for future reference. Discussion questions are detailed at the end of each exercise in order to stimulate meaningful conversations. Residents are instructed to open their social media and share something that they have learned, along with the Altogether Human hashtags to help spread awareness. Sample social media posts are also available for resident assistants to utilize in order to inform students and faculty about the Altogether Human project. Prizes are provided on the Altogether Human website for purchase. And then lastly, because finding creative materials to put on display can be difficult, we have provided bulletin board supplements for dorm decor that can be found on our website for resident assistants to use. Given that this is a product and not a social media campaign, sample posts were developed, but an actual social media campaign was not undertaken. This is an area where a university that's implementing the Altogether Human project can leverage. When it comes to adapting activities and messaging to work in a face-to-face or virtual format, this was very challenging yet rewarding. Being able to provide materials in all formats will allow this program to have more reach. These approaches can always be enhanced. Secondly, when it comes for ways to engage commuter students, following the guidance of our peer-to-peer protective program advisors, the Altogether Human project was developed as a niche program for a residential student population. An expansion opportunity would be to adapt the program to reach commuter students. And then lastly, when it comes to cost per student, depending on how many students participate in each activity and whether or not the resident assistant decides to facilitate each activity in person, costs could range anywhere from approximately $1.50 per student to $15 per student. Again, it solely depends on how much the college or university charges for printing fees. And when it comes to the purchasing of merchandise, that decision will be up to the college or university and can easily happen through our selected vendor, the CAM company. The theme of being altogether human and the 3 C's of being human, compassion, connection, and celebration, are universal to the human experience. The theme draws students into a conversation and creates a dialogue. It invites individuals into the discussion with a non-judgmental, inclusive approach. It's edgy, current, and relevant in today's hypercharged political and social climate. When it comes to the scalability of the program is turnkey and can be utilized on any campus, regardless of size or location. All materials needed are accessible through the website. And then lastly, the program fills a gap in what's currently available to support RAs. In a search for potential competing products, few existing tools approach the topic of LGBTQ+ inclusion in a way that draws college students into the conversation. By framing the discussion around our humanity, the program becomes something that can be used anywhere and on any topic, including faith-based campuses like Ohio Dominican University. The emphasis on being human and treating each other with respect and kindness is what the Altogether Human Project is about. So if we all could just make a commitment to show compassion, seek connection, and celebrate our differences, just imagine how much better our world would truly be. Thank you.